Welcome everybody to RLN for tonight's broadcast from the Dover International Speedway, or as some folks like to call it, the Monster Mile. Tonight's race, 130 laps. We got nice cold temperatures, so that'll give the drivers a little bit of grip. With the default setup and default weather, the track was quite slippery, so we made an exception for this race. Temperature 65 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Drivers will be running with 50% fuel. That should give them some green flag pit stops. Looking at maybe about 40 laps or so before they run out of fuel on this half tank. Drivers get one quick reset. A couple facts about this track. It's a 1 mile, very steep banking, 24 degree banking on this 1 mile, pure oval track. Pace speed's 45 miles an hour. Pit road speed is 35. Very difficult to get into pit road correctly. So drivers will have to make sure they're working on that. We told them in practice to make sure they get a couple tries in there. Hopefully we don't see anybody overshooting it or hitting the wall. So Mike, I did some practice laps here a few days ago. Have you driven on this track lately?
Yeah, I did spend some time on it over the course of the week, and man, it's a loose track.
Yeah, very loose. Even with the changes we made to the setup, still pretty loose. A little difficult to kind of wrangle it in, but we'll see how these drivers handle it. I was watching them in practice; it wasn't too bad. So once they get the the game face on, the race starts. They usually kind of tone it down a little bit so they can get some green flag laps in.
Yeah, they had mentioned under practice they were racing pretty hard, trying to get the feel of the car side by side and seeing how far they can push it. And hey, if you're going to wreck the car, might as well be under practice.
Yeah, definitely. Get that out of your system during practice. Find the limits, step over the limit a couple of times, and get a good stark reminder of what happens, and keep moving. So drivers are working on their qual laps right now. And looks like Nate LaFleur is leading the qual right now. He was leading in practice too. He had the fastest lap in practice with a 22.879, so almost hit that on his qualifying lap, which is pretty good.
Yeah, Nate is what I'd like to call, at least recently, he's been a single lap specialist, man. The guy can get out there and put together a quick lap. I'm excited to see if he can put a whole bunch of them together during the race.
All right, so I see the checkered flag up there, which means that qualifying has finished. And pretty soon here, the drivers will be lining up on the grid. We'll walk you through the grid and show you who all is here. And Mike, I don't remember, did they do 1 or 2 pace laps here?
You know, I think it's 2. Don't quote me. We'll find out in about 30 seconds.
All right, so we'll start going through the grid. If we see the pace car duck off early, then we'll finish it up. So congratulations to Nate LaFleur, gets that bonus point for qualifying pole. Newcomer Mike Mahoney, he got second place. He's going to be starting up front, so exciting to see him. And he's a NASCAR driver as well, right?
Yeah, he's one of the new drivers over there. Likes what we're doing over there, and we told him to come over here and check it out. So I'm excited to see him race here with you guys.
Yeah, and when I raced last week, I did find myself driving around him quite a bit. So it'll be fun to watch the other drivers do the same thing. He was a good, clean racer. So glad to have him here in the league. And let's go ahead and start walking through the grid now before we get rolling. Front row, as we already said, Nate LaFleur and Mike Mahoney.
In row number 2, we got David Howard Jr. and William Long.
Row 3 is Mike Abbott and Joshua Buckley.
Row number 4, we've got Jason Garrett and Max Terrio.
Row 5 is Timothy Lewis and Ivan Jones.
Row number 6, Jamie Christensen, and on the outside, Joshua Butler.
Row 7, we got James Haney and Kevin O'Brien.
Row number 8, we got another Haney, Keith Haney, and Philip Bundick.
And rounding out the field on row 10, we have John Fershing, who won twice last week, or a couple weeks ago, and Daniel Haney.
Good solid turnout tonight. 18 drivers on the track, ready to go here.
And yeah, it looks like we only had one pace lap, so we're ready to go green. Oh, Mike Mahoney gets into the wall coming out of 2. He holds on to it, but it looks like David Howard kind of got a little bit of that. Cost him a little ground.
It looks like these guys got spread out pretty good. That was a pretty good start. We had a couple cars spin the tires, and it looks like everybody got spread out okay.
Yeah, it can be really tough on the start here at this track, so to get spread out like that early on is really good for these drivers. Nate LaFleur really pulling out ahead now. He's got a good 10 car lengths between himself and second place Mike Mahoney. And Mike is battling with Mike Abbott for second place right now, with David Howard right on their tail.
It'll be interesting to see what the preferred passing line is here. I noticed during practice a couple guys were trying to keep it on the bottom, but coming off those corners on the bottom with the car outside, you can really snap around.
Oh, we got a car in the wall. Inside wall. Which car number is that?
That's 973 Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett gets into the inside wall hard. No caution. He's trying to straighten it out. I have a feeling we're going to get a yellow flag here as the leaders come back around, and he's still sitting there on the track. Nope, he's going to keep it on the apron. We're going to stay green. Let's go back and have a replay, see what happened here. You see Jason just get loose coming out of turn 4. It's easy to do here. Fortunately, nobody else got caught up, and we stayed green, but bad luck for Jason because that's going to cost him a lot of time.
Yeah, good job though keeping it on the shoulder and letting these guys continue the race though. He'll get a quick repair. Hopefully he doesn't go too many laps down, but I have a feeling we'll see a caution at some point.
Yeah, and we really do appreciate him doing that, letting these drivers stay green. You know, he knows as well as everybody else does, it would have been easy to kind of just go up the track a little bit and pull out a yellow to save your butt, and he didn't do that, so good sportsmanship there. We like to see that.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier, just at the start of the broadcast, how we've, cooled the temperatures down for tonight's race. These cars were a lot of handful, with normal warmer temperatures in the sun baking the track. With the cooler temperatures, they've tightened up a little bit, but they're still quite loose.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't think that these drivers have it easy on them right now. This track is, I mean, they call it the Monster Mile, and that is a good name for it because it is a monster to drive this thing. And we see Mike Abbott getting into some lap traffic now. And that's the 953 of Ivan Jones. Hopefully these guys are communicating well, and I'm sure Ivan will stay up out of the way once Nate catches up to him. Jason looks like he may have taken his car to the garage. I'm not sure why. He did have a quick reset, but I do not see him on the track anymore.
Yeah, he's definitely set out of his car.
So Ivan goes up high, lets a few of these leaders pass, and it looks like he's going to continue that as the whole field goes past him. I know I hate it when I'm in that position where I'm the lapped car. I try my best to stay out of the way, but a lot of times you can mess somebody up trying to get out of their way.
Yeah, especially here, it's... The line that these guys are running is very tight, so if you're a lap car and you got cars coming underneath you or going above you, it can be really tough to stay out of the way.
Yep. So LaFleur continues to lead. Mike Mahoney has he's closed that gap a little bit. He's only about a quarter second behind Nate now. And still close racing all around, but they've done a great job of getting sorted out. You don't want to be side by side too long here at this track.
No, it's very tense. It can actually be kind of uncomfortable. You really want your line. You want to be able to hit your marks for sure.
Yeah, let's go on board with second place Mike Mahoney. Yeah, that right here coming out of turn 2 is so difficult. I swear that wall gets a foot closer every lap you take.
Yeah, you want to get on as soon as you can. It's a fine line between pushing it out to the wall, and then if you get on just too soon, your back end's going to jump around. So it's going to be interesting. I think pit entry is going to be crazy too. If these guys end up doing some green flag lap pit entries, you know, the pit entry here is like between 3 and 4, and it's right down on the shoulder. These guys are going to have to remember that getting in there.
Yeah, pitting very, very difficult here. Oh, Mike Abbott gets into the wall a little bit coming out of 4. Cost him a spot. He was up there in the mix with David Howard and Mike Mahoney, but one little mistake will back you up quite a bit. Doesn't look like it slowed him down too much, so he should be all right. In 7th place, Max Terrio. He's been an extremely strong driver in this league lately, and I'm excited to see if he can make his way up to the front here.
Yeah, he's always there at the end. He's got the top 3 finish a couple times this season, and we'll see how he does when the laps tick down.
Yeah, a lot of times he's sort of one of those sleeper drivers. You don't see him through the whole race, and then right there at the end, he's always there, and just good, solid driver.
Looks like almost every driver on the track has got a bit of a gap in between them and the car in front of them. The closest battle right now is the lead. Mike Mahoney is about 2/10 back off of Nate, but everyone else is pretty stretched out. I think these guys just kind of want to click some laps down and take care of the tires. That could come into play as we get into the run here as well.
Yeah, and that's the smart way to do it. I mean, you know, you can be aggressive right at the beginning, but it rarely, if ever, pays off.
Yeah, even last time Red Light was at this track, it was you guys were in the trucks, and you only had 2 cautions for the entire race. Mind you, the race was a little bit shorter at 100 laps, but you guys surprise me. Every time we come out here and watch you guys run, everybody has the mindset to, you know, give each other room, stay clean, and races are always quick and a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that was back in January of this year, January 26th when we raced there. And like you said, 2 cautions. Oh, Abbott into the wall hard again. That one's going to slow him down. He clobbered the wall there. I think that's going to mess up his suspension.
Yeah, that's the one thing you got to worry about here. You know, aerodynamics not so much, but you bang in that front tire, screw up your toe or your camber, it can definitely hurt your car.
Yeah, great job by the other drivers getting around him. That can be real hairy when you're right behind somebody and you see him hit the wall, because you know they're about to slow way down. And now you see Tim Lewis looking to the inside of Mike Abbott, so Mike definitely running slower. He's got about 15 laps before we're going to see green flag pit stop, so he's going to have to hang on for a bit and just lose some spots, I think.
Yeah, considering what happened, he did a pretty good job of holding on to it. He's running that exit really low, and he's clipping the shoulder, and that just really upsets the car. And the back end came out. He turned right to save it, but just saving it, walked it up the wall, or walked it up the track into the wall.
Hey, you know, the thing is, though, even though he clobbered that wall, that takes an incredible amount of skill to only clobber the wall when you get into that situation, because it's so easy to snap oversteer here. So just like we talked about earlier, Max Terrio working his way up there. He's now on the bumper of Joshua Buckley, threatening him for the 5th position. And he goes to the inside to make the pass. Good clean pass there by both drivers. A little further back in the field, we got Jamie Christensen and James Haney in the 12th and 13th position. They look to be battling pretty hard. And right behind James Haney is Philip Bundick, newcomer Philip Bundick in the 923. And that's something else I like to see is, you know, everybody has a different skill level. Not everybody's going to run up front. Not everybody's going to be in the back. And you get enough drivers on the track, everybody has somebody to race. And honestly, I don't care where I am in the field. If I'm racing somebody, I'm having fun.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits about getting, you know, these decent turnouts is no matter where you are, you're racing. And that's what we try and promote. And having these guys just kind of get the feel of racing each other, that's really what it's about. When you get a field of like 10, 15 on those larger tracks, you can be by yourself and it can be the most boring thing in the world, but it's always exciting here.
Yep. So Max Terrio makes the pass for 4th. And Joshua Buckley, he's about to pass Mike Mahoney as well. Buckley's going to take 5th, I'm sorry. Max Terrio is on the move.
Yeah, it looks like maybe Mike had a bit of fall off on his tires. He has given up a couple of positions in the last 3-4 laps.
Yeah, and that's an easy thing to do, to overwork your tires here, because it seems like it just doesn't want to rotate in the center. And I know I found myself during warm-up last week with these guys really cranking the wheel over too far, and I'd look down and realize I had that thing almost 180 degrees and say, well, maybe that's a little much.
Yeah, you're getting to the point of sliding that front right tire so much that you can see smoke coming out of the back of the car if you get really into it.
Yeah, and when you do that, it's not going to last very long. John Fershing and Timothy Lewis battling for the 7th position. And just ahead of them, you have Buckley and Mike Mahoney going around some lap traffic. And that lap car is the 930 of Daniel Haney. Once again, doing a good job of staying out of these guys' way and letting them go. Not always an easy job being the lapped car. You gotta look in your rear view almost as much as you're looking forward.
Yeah, your relative is your best friend, seeing when these guys are coming up on you. But you're right, trying to judge when these guys are going to make the pass if they catch you on the corner. You don't want to be the guy that holds somebody up, but you know, he's running really high right now, and that could be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely, because it's not a line you're used to driving. You're right up against the wall. Any little mistake's going to put you in the wall, and yeah, it's a tough thing sometimes. The big key to it is communication. As long as the car that's passing and the car that's being lapped communicate with each other, it usually goes off without a hitch. When it gets difficult is when you're the guy doing the passing and you're not real sure what the guy ahead of you is doing. So lap 34, coming to lap 35, pretty impressed so far. These guys have done a good job of getting, like you said, getting sorted out and not running side by side. It's almost impossible to run side by side for any length of time at this track.
Yeah, I think we're about 10-15 laps away from our first pit stop, and it's going to get interesting at that point for sure.
Yeah, I think we're actually a little closer than that. When I did a fuel run last week or earlier this week, I think I got maybe 42 laps out of it. We're on lap 36 now, so I expect we're going to see these drivers coming down pretty soon. Timothy Lewis threatening Mike Mahoney for the 6th position. Doesn't quite get it. Timothy falls way back. He's got Fershing run on his tail now. A little further back. It looks like Jamie Christensen is the first driver who's going to take a pit stop. Actually, no, I see the 930 of Daniel Haney coming in as well.
It's good to see Jamie got it locked up and on pit road pretty good. He was practicing that earlier on during practice, and he missed it a couple times, but that's what practice is for, you know, getting it all squared away so you can get on there when you need to, when it matters.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you want to make those mistakes is in practice. I told the guys ahead of time, I even wrote something up on the website too, and tell everyone, make sure you're practicing your pit stop because it will bite you. David Howard is now caught up to Nate LaFleur. He's in the second spot, very close to taking the lead. And this could come down to pit stops. The lead change could come down to pit stops if somebody does a different strategy, or like I said, it's easy to make a mistake here on the pit stop.
Yeah, we got a car sideways on pit entry there, but it looks like he is going to get it rolling again. Really interesting to see these guys pit at lap 40. You know, we're running 130 laps. Not that I think this race is going to go green the entire way, but you know, you make it to 42 laps on a tank, you're looking at making it a 3-stop race. So these guys, looks like David Howard missed the pit entry. He's got to go around. That's going to hurt him.
Let's go back and see. Yep. Let's have a look here. Yeah, you can see he went down. I'm watching a replay now. He went down and couldn't get it slowed down in time. Yeah, that's going to cost him big time.
Sorry, I said 3-stop race. 2-stop race is what it should be if these guys can push it a little bit. Nate LaFleur is still on track, so I think he's doing exactly what I've suggested.
You think they can do it on 2 stops?
Well, if they're running 43 laps, you know,
yeah.
you run, that's 86, and then it's really close, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could. You could cut it. They got to be running on fumes now. Like I said, I ran a whole tank out, and I think I ran out on lap 43 or 44. So Nate LaFleur has to be running on fumes at this point. And he has led all 42 laps, so he's about to have to turn those reins over to somebody else for temporarily anyway.
Well, he might not. Second place missed the pits, so if he can get it on and off really good here, he could keep that lead.
And you can see Nate LaFleur coming down pit entrance now.
Ooh, he got it mowed down just barely though.
I think he did.
Yeah, 35 miles an hour, man. That's like walking down the highway.
Yeah, I mean, in these cars too, because it feels so weird because you're used to going so fast in these cars, and when you go 35 miles an hour, you feel like you're driving in the Walmart parking lot. It's so slow. Actually, I don't know. That's a good analogy. I've seen people do about 45 or 50 in the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, that's true.
You see Kevin O'Brien exiting the pits. Nate only takes 2 tires and heads out.
That's an interesting call right there.
Well, Keith Haney only took 2 as well. I think everybody else. Yeah, everybody else took 4 tires except for Nate LaFleur and Keith Haney. Keith is running second right now, but he's, 6 seconds behind Nate.
You know, if Nate's planning on a 2-stop strategy, which it looks like he is at this point, that's probably the right call. You know, you're going to want those 4 tires for the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the way you got to do the math, you figure you're going to run 40 laps on these tires. You want to lose a little bit of time on each lap for only taking 2, but is the amount of time you're going to gain from, you gain 7 or 8 seconds, I guess, from only taking 2, 6 or 7 maybe.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8.6. They both, Keith Haney and Nate LaFleur, both had good stops at 8.6. Max Terrio, who was sitting in third right now, he had a 14.9 stop. William Long in fourth had a 15.8, and then David Howard in fifth had actually a 16.2. So all across the board there.
Yeah, across the board, looks like you gain about 7 seconds by only taking 2 tires, but like I said, you're going to lose a little bit each lap, so you got to kind of do the math in your head. Well, if I lose a 1/10 of a second each lap, I'm running 40 laps, that's 4 seconds I'm going to lose, so then it's worth it to only take 2 tires. It's a lot more involved than a lot of people think it is.
No, for sure. One thing he's got going for him right now, Keith Haney's on the same strategy as him, is running 2 tires, so he's kind of got that buffer. You know, Max is going to have to get around Keith before he has to deal with him, so should be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah. But yeah, Nate definitely has a nice, comfortable, almost 6-second lead ahead of Keith Haney.
Keith Haney is a little bit quicker those last couple laps, so.
Yeah, a couple tenths quicker, it looks like. Oh, we got a caution.
We have a yellow.
Looks like the 99 of Joshua Butler gets loose coming out of one of the turns. I can't tell which turn that was.
Looks like turn 4.
Let's go back and have a look at the replay. Put it in slow motion here. Goes into turn 3. I think he just got loose on his own. And it's easy to do. He didn't. I thought for a second he was going to hit the apron, but yeah, just coming out of turn 4, it's easy to do, and he just kind of went right down into the wall. Fortunately, nobody else got caught up in it.
Yeah, that metal yellow car looks better, but all beaten up anyways. It's all good.
It looks more appropriate, but I'm not laughing at you, Josh. I hate to see anybody wreck like that. I know it's not fun, but considering the history of the mellow yellow car, I can understand why somebody might think it looks better a little bit beat up.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. He's gonna jump in, get that car fixed. You know, he's already down 2 laps. I don't think it's gonna really hurt his day here.
No.
So
yeah, he'll just quick reset.
Yeah, it's all about getting some experience on the track and learning.
So it looks like everybody's going to come down pit road, even though most of them just cycled through pit stops a little bit ago, but now this is going to make it a lot easier for gauging how many more stops they need, because now it's almost a certainty they'll only need 1 more stop.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone wants those 4 fresh tires. You can see Nate came in, and he's gonna put 4 on it as well.
Ooh, David Howard makes it off pit road before Nate.
Yep.
David only took 2.
That worked out well for him right there.
So David will get the track position. Now remember, David just took 4 tires when they did their pit stops a little bit ago under green flag. So I think he's going to have a pretty strong advantage here. He's got the track position. I'm interested to see which lane he starts on. I think probably the inside lane would be preferred, but the outside lane is still strong, or the middle lane, I should say, is pretty strong.
Looks like Mike Mahoney decided to change his mind and come in and get some tires.
Yeah, probably not a bad call. There's still a lot of racing left, and you don't want to be kind of stuck out there with everybody else and not have the same kind of equipment.
Yeah, the only thing I would question is, and this happened, we commented on this last week, you know, stay out. You might as well go around 1 more time, lead the lap, get that bonus point, and then come in on the next pass by. Because those leaders passed him when he was on pit road there.
Yep, yeah. Of course, you got to be careful when you do that. I tried that at Bristol when I raced it with Navscar last week, and just messed it up on pit exit. They closed the pit exit. I wasn't paying attention and got black flagged for it. I really, really hurt myself at that race. I'm so rusty. It's been so long since I've raced. I just made some of really, really rookie errors when it came to pit stops. So I was having a rough time that night.
That's okay, man. It's good to be back. You'll get all up again, and hey, maybe next season in the Cup cars you'll be back on your game.
Yeah, last night I thought I was going to get a win in the Navscar Touring Series. I led a good portion, probably half of that race at Monza in the Cadillac. I'd never raced the Cadillac before. Actually, never driven at Monza before either, so I was pretty proud of what I was doing, but just didn't have enough for Keith Haney, and he did a great job getting around me and passing. Never like to see somebody take the win away from me, but he definitely deserved it. He was faster than me all night. But a lot of fun. I had a blast that entire race.
Yeah, I love to see the interest. I love to see the guys, that are traditionally oval racers get out there and turn some laps on a road course. It's definitely a different beast, and guys getting experience wherever they can. It never hurts.
Yep, absolutely. So we'll be on lap 55 when we go green here in just a little bit. And looks like David is going to start on the inside lane. I figured that's where he was going to start, but wouldn't have been too surprised to see a little switch up.
Yeah, this will be, our first restart since the start of the race. We'll see if these guys can, hey, they had a clean one at the start. Let's see if they can do it again here. It's, the pace car really dives off really early, so that leader's got to kind of maintain the speed all the way around to the restart box, and that's could be a bit of a drive there too.
That's right, and for our viewers, the drivers are required to maintain pace speed until they see the green flag. They're not allowed to jump ahead. Nate LaFleur gets a hell of a run on the outside, goes right around David Howard. And I think that's that 4 tires over 2 tires thing. Excellent start by Nate. And we are already mostly sorted out through the whole field. Outstanding job by these drivers.
Yeah, I would say these guys are doing it on purpose. Like we said before, it's just uncomfortable being too wide, man.
Right, and it when I was doing practice laps here, I tried running the inside or the outside lane as if I was too wide, and you lose so much time. I'm talking a second and a half per lap. So if you go side by side with somebody to battle him here, it's just not going to help either driver.
Oh, we got a car in the wall.
That's the 82 of Mike Abbott on the inside wall. Does not bring out a caution. Let's see if he can get it straightened out in time.
Yeah, he does a good job getting it
Yeah, he did.
pointed in the right direction.
That was a
going
professional burnout right there.
Yeah.
Great job by Mike. And he's now almost about to get lapped. He's, 15 seconds behind the leader. Actually, he's good, a good way from getting lapped. He's got a good 7 seconds from that. That was an excellent recovery. To be able to spin out, hit the wall, collect it, get back on the track, and still be on the lead lap at a small track like this, you're doing something right.
Yeah, I just watched the replay, man. That was impressive. Him, it's pointed in the wrong direction, and he spins it around and gets it going.
Yep, prevents the caution. Now, Mike is in the pit stall right now, of course, getting his car fixed up. So he will lose laps for that. But like I said, impressive job by him. That was a professional burnout, like I said. We got a three-way battle.
Max Terrio goes around coming out of 4. That's going to bring out a caution.
Yep. Caution is out. Max Terrio almost keeps it off the wall. He barely tapped the wall, and the wall helped him point the right direction anyway. Let's go back and have a replay, or watch a replay of this. Yeah, once again, and this is the spot that's bitten every driver so far, it seems like, is coming out of turn 4. Just get a little bit loose, and it's really, really hard to correct it without snap oversteer happening. And Max did a pretty good job there. I mean, you can see he didn't go all the way around, barely tapped the inside wall. That straightened him out, and he's good to go. He'll get that fixed up, and I'm sure he'll be fine. Once again, good
Yeah.
job by the other drivers not just losing. You know, it's easy to sort of freak out and cause more problems, and they all stayed patient and kept with it.
Yeah, I don't even think he'd have any damage the way that he just barely tapped that rear end. It looks fine from this angle.
Yeah, I don't see any damage on it.
Well, mind you, he slid those tires a lot, so that could have hurt it a bit. But
So
looks
looks like all the leaders are coming down pit road.
well, we had a couple stay out. Nate, David Howard both stayed out.
Oh, interesting.
Sorry, Nate. David Howard. It is on pit road. Just Nate stayed out.
Interesting call by Nate staying out. If he didn't have enough cars stay out with him, that could hurt him. I do see, actually I see quite a few cars on the lead lap who stayed out with him, so that might not be so bad.
I only see one. I think Mike Mahoney stayed out. I think the rest of the drivers are a lap down.
Oh, you're right. Yep, those are all lap cars. Well, that's going to hurt those lap cars too, since LaFleur stayed out. They're not going to get that wave around.
And it looks like Mike jumped in as well. So, yeah, Nate could have his hands full on this restart.
Yeah, and for our viewers, oh, okay, Nate is pitting now. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. I was concerned about those lap cars getting stuck in the middle there. And just to explain that for our viewers, if all the cars that are directly behind the pace car are a lap down, right before we go green, they actually get to pass the pace car, come back around to the back end of the field, and regain a lap, which is nice. However, if there is any car on the lead lap between them and the pace car, then they don't get their wave around.
Yeah, and in theory they drop to the back, but iRacing is not exactly great at managing those cars, so...
Yeah, it can be a little tricky sometimes the way it works on here. So it looks like 3 cars will be getting a wave around, I believe.
Yeah, it looks about right.
That'll be Daniel Haney, Mike Abbott, and I didn't see who the other car was.
.953. Actually, it looks like the 953 is the last car on the lead lap, so he will go around as well.
And that'll have David Howard starting out front, and William Long, Joshua Buckley, and Timothy Lewis rounding out the front 2 rows once they get all sorted out here.
It'd be interesting to see what David Howard does here on this restart. He took the inside last time, didn't work out very well for him, so let's see if he switches it up.
Yeah, I almost wonder if David might have had some trouble on that restart, because the outside lane just really went, and it looked like the guys behind David kind of got held up a little bit. So you can spin your tires here on the restart, so it's possible that happened. A lot of the tracks we go to, the pace speed is fast enough that you're not going to spin the tires. You can just mash the pedal down in second gear and go, but when you're only going 45 miles an hour with this pace speed, you can actually spin the tires and lose control pretty easily. Lights are off on the pace car. Drivers are doubled up. Pace car ducks off for that long trip down pit road. And we're ready to go green again. Green, green, green. David gets a much better start this time. Buckley looks to the outside. Nope, decides not to. Comes back down right behind David.
Yeah, I think that 911 has been struggling on those restarts too. I think every single restart he's been on the outside and kind of just couldn't get up to speed quick.
Yeah,
Still learning.
It almost looked like he hung back too, like he didn't really get side by side with David on the start.
But once again, these guys get in line, within the first lap and a half.
Buckley is all over David though. I think we're going to see Buckley make a move for the lead here at some point. He definitely has him on entry. He's entering the turn a lot faster, but I think David gets him on the run out. And Buckley's got to be careful there because it's easy to hit the other guy and spin him around, and we know we don't want to see that. When the other guy kind of does a slower entry and you're diving in right behind him.
Well, it looks like he's going to get a good run here.
He is right there. Oh, I hear
Ooh.
Contact.
Yeah,
Buckley,
he got loose.
Okay, they made contact and Buckley backed way off. So, great job by Buckley. I commend you for that. It's hard to back off when you're in second place, but you don't want to spin the other guy around either. Oh, Howard in the wall now. That allows Christensen to take the lead with Buckley right on the inside. This is getting crazy. They are side by side. Oh, Christensen loses control coming out of turn 4. He didn't get the lead a lap. Almost did. Let's go back and see a replay of that.
Yeah, there was a couple good moves there by Jamie. Took advantage of that contact, dived underneath, took up the lead, and just lost it.
Yeah, it took the lead, but you can see that turn 4. It's just brutal. And right there, he was a little loose. I know the feeling that he probably had. I know I get real excited when I think I'm about to take the lead. And good job by all the other drivers getting around him. Good job by Jamie keeping it down low. And fortunately, we didn't see a pile up there. That could have been really ugly. When you see the leaders spin out and they're all side by side like that, usually it's pretty ugly.
It's funny though how all the incidents are like almost all exactly the same. I think in that case he had Josh going on the inside. He was just trying to get back on it as quick as he can.
Right.
And it just came around on him. It's easy to do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that turn 4 is the killer of this track, it seems like. Ooh, we got some of the leaders pitting. Buckley stays out. Lewis, Howard, Mahoney, Long, they all come down pit road. Max Terrio, Nate LaFleur. Most everybody is coming down pit road.
Yeah, as the leader, you definitely don't want to look at your rear view and see the entire field come down pit road. That's going to make them uncomfortable.
Yeah, so Buckley kind of in the same spot LaFleur was in. Was it LaFleur or Pershing? Yeah, LaFleur was last time.
It was LaFleur, yeah. We'll see if he changes his mind like Nate did. I don't think he will, though. I think Josh, once he commits, man, I think he's going to stay out here.
Yeah, it's a tough call. Like I said, you don't want to rob these guys of the wave around, but you also don't want to give up track position for no reason. You want to be a nice guy, but it's not charity either.
No, for sure. And I still think these lap cars are going to jump down and get some tires, too. I think they just didn't come down the first time because the pit is closed to them on that first lap.
Yeah, that's possible. I don't know. I think if I'm a lap down and we just pitted, I probably am going to want to stay out. And actually, they didn't pit last time, though. They took their wave around, so.
I would agree with you, but when you have a leader ahead of you and you're not going to get that wave around.
Yeah, that's true. If you're not getting if you're not getting the wave around, you need to come in. Oh, we see one of them stays out. I believe that's the 82 of Mike Abbott.
He does stay out.
He did stay out. So he'll get the command to fall to the back of the field here at some point, unless he pits. I don't think he'll be able to pit this next time, so they'll give him the command to fall to the back of the field, and he'll be back there with all these other guys who are coming down pit road right now, except he will not have the fresh tires that they do.
He could still drop down and pit next time by. No, you're right. It is telling him to drop to the back, but he could still come in and pit with 1 to go. He would get an end of the line penalty, but seeing as he'll already be back there.
Right. Yeah. But pretty good racing so far. I mean, 3 cautions. Some people might say, oh, that's a lot. And for us, it might be a little bit, but if you consider the track, we're at Dover, very difficult. I'm honestly pretty impressed that we've only had 3 cautions, and none of them were, not a single caution has been, driver versus driver or anything like that. It's just that turn 4 has got an oil slick on it or something.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was hassling my guys over at NASCAR about their Michigan race and how they posted 6 cautions, and I didn't get to see the race, but I was just like, oh, 6 cautions, guys. And then I go watch the Xfinity race at Michigan, and those guys did 8 cautions.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's all good.
Yeah, sometimes when you watch the real race, it's easy when you're doing this, when you're running the league or you're racing, you think, man, this is a caution fest. But then you watch the real one and you say, well, we're actually pretty much the same way they are in real life. Stuff just happens.
Yeah, in our laps, the amount of laps we run are pretty close to actual Xfinity races as well. So it's good to see these guys, and it's just so much fun to be up here watching these guys run.
Yeah, no doubt. And they're definitely, they're running pro level. They might be running pro speed, some of them, but as far as the way they're driving, the smartness, the maturity of their driving, they're definitely doing it like pros out here, and I love to see that. And this is exactly, I'm always preaching to people when they talk about iRacing or whatever, and they're complaining on the forums about the wreck fest and this and that. And I keep telling them, league racing is where it's at. You've got to do league racing. Yeah,
it's true. I don't remember the last iRacing race I've done. Once you get my my A license up, and I don't bother going back. I should really go work on my iRating, but it's just not as much fun anymore.
No, this is the best stuff, and we're about to go green again with Buckley and Haney running the front row. Lewis and Mahoney right behind them.
They're a pretty even start here.
Yeah, both of them got a great start. I think Buckley's going to get the drop on him, yep. Let's see what happens between Mahoney and Lewis. Oh, Haney! Crossover to the inside. Oh, they touch doors. They hold on to it. Haney takes the lead.
That was a great exit on that turn by Haney. That was a good move right there.
That was amazing. Good job, Haney. I know he's a strong, strong driver. I battled him last night. And he does pull out pretty far ahead of Buckley, so he's got a little bit of a comfortable lead, not too much.
Yeah, I think he's, it's his first time out there tonight. That's his first lap led. I think he wants to see what he can do out there.
And look at this field. They're already got themselves sorted out. Smart drivers. Haney and Buckley still battling pretty hard. Buckley isn't letting him go easy. I gotta say, that was the move of the race right there. That was impressive to watch when Haney got out in front of Buckley like that.
Yeah, I think he almost let him go so he could get the line that he was looking for and just use it to his advantage there.
Max Terrio, he's done a good job of recovering. He's back up in the top 5 after that spin off of turn 4 earlier.
Yeah, 5 through 8 right now is really close together. They got 4 cars within about 0.3 of a second of each other.
Let's go on board with Nate LaFleur so you can just see the craziness of this. You can't even see where you're going. I mean, oh, caution's out. 82, and Mike Abbott spins. Guess where? Coming out of turn 4. Let's have a look at the replay. That turn, man, that is just killing these drivers.
Yeah, it looks about the same as the first time he went around. This time he wasn't able to keep it down and prevent that caution. But
yep. I mean, we've seen, it's almost like it's the same replay of the same wreck over and over with different paint jobs. And it's not even really a wreck. I mean, I say wreck, I mean, he's tapping the wall or whatever, but it's not really even a wreck. It's just losing control coming out of that turn.
Yeah, the craziest thing is they're talking about decreasing the downforce next year for these cars in the real world. So it'll be interesting how that plays out.
Now, I can see some benefit in decreasing the downforce in the Cup cars. I'm not so sure these ones really need it, though.
That's true. I don't think they're touching the Xfinity cars.
Yeah, now in the Gen 6, I think there needs to be some work done on that. They need to lower the downforce a little bit so the driver has to fight the car. I mean, I don't want to just make the car slippery just to see the drivers, driving on eggshells. That's not fun either, but right now, especially when you get out in front in clean air, they just glue to the track and those guys just take off, and it makes it difficult for anybody behind first place to really do anything.
Yeah, I think they're trying to figure out, you got to commend NASCAR. They're trying to figure out a way to get these cars close quarters so we can, as fans, we can see some racing. And that's what the whole decrease of horsepower was to do. But, when you decrease the horsepower like they did this year, that really, might decrease your straightaway speeds, but your corner speeds are so much higher. And these cars, they're almost full throttle at almost, 80% of the tracks we go to all the way around the track. So it's like, if you have no extra throttle to play with, once you get on full throttle, man, these cars aren't going to suck up to each other. They're not going to close that gap. You're just always on full throttle. You can't do anything. So it's good to see them kind of make these cars a little bit less, without thinking of a proper word, but less fun and easy to drive, and having these cars kind of suck up and having them race each other. So they'll never get it right, man. They'll never get it right. It's always about playing around with it and what they're going to do next year.
Right, and if you're trying to make every single race one of those ones that's going to go down in the record books, you're chasing a dream. It's not going to happen. There are going to be boring races. It happens, but just in general, if they can get them on average a little more exciting, it'd be fun. I still enjoy it, and to anybody who's watching, if you've never been to a race, it doesn't matter if it's a big NASCAR race or go to your local track and watch some late models. It is really incredible. I was never a race fan. I was just like most people. I said, this is stupid. They're driving in circles. And then I got on sim racing. I was actually doing ARCA sim racing. And that's when I started thinking, there might be something to this. And then I started going to races. And man, I've been hooked. I don't even watch football or anything anymore. All I care about is racing.
Yeah, it's, you said it. A lot of people who aren't into NASCAR or understand oval racing, they think it's just, you're turning circles. But it's a completely different talent. You know what I mean? It's something that's very hard to master, and people don't get that. And when you go to a race and see how close these cars run and how fast and how loud they are, it's an experience that's second to none for sure.
Yeah, it's so hard for them to really give you a sense of the speed and the power of these cars on television. It's just, you can kind of get it sometimes. I like the in-car shots. That's one of my favorites. That gives you a real good view of kind of what the driver's going through. But you just got to go to find your local short track or go to a big NASCAR race. I like going to the Xfinity races instead of the Cup races because it's so much cheaper. It's a lot less crowded. There's no traffic. Not a whole lot to get in and out, and just a lot of fun going to them.
Yeah, I agree. And if you are a race fan and you haven't had a chance to play something or get into a car like we do here on iRacing, that's an experience too. If you want to really get as close as you're going to get to the real thing, iRacing is the way to go. You can put lots of money into building a system and a rig that's gonna bring you closer to that experience, but you don't need to do any of that, man. Get yourself a wheel, bolt it to a desk, and turn some laps. It's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I drove like that for about a good year, had a blast, and then the bug got me, and I started spending all my money on hardware and doing all the crazy stuff.
Yep. I'm lucky to have an understanding wife, and she doesn't give me too much of a hard time on the amount of money that I spend on my hobby. But hey, it's cheaper than the real thing, so.
That's right. Cheaper than a lot of hobbies too, to be honest. I mean, I got friends who spend $500 on a fishing reel and buy them every month. So.
That's true.
It's a good hobby. Keeps you at home. All right, and we're ready to go green again. Whoa, Buckley spun his tires a little bit. Green, green, green. Let's see what Timothy Lewis can make happen out here on pole. Gets around Howard, and Howard doesn't have room to do a crossover like Haney did last time. 2x2 behind Timothy, and I'm sure he's loving to see that in his mirror.
Yeah, this is some of the hardest racing we've seen all night, and it's easy to see why. We're down to 45 laps to go. These guys could stretch it, go on one more, or we can get another yellow and hopefully get everyone safe. We'll see how this goes.
Most of the drivers have sorted themselves out already.
It's funny to see that whoever gets out in the lead gets that clean air. They pull away. It's like it's completely different than running in a pack.
Well, that and you have the comfort of being able to run whichever line you want and not worry about somebody kind of tucking their nose in on the underneath or up above you. You know. I know when I'm running really close to somebody, I'm always a lot more conservative. Oh, Buckley gets a little loose coming off 4, but holds on to it. Yeah, I'm always a lot more conservative when I'm close to somebody, just because I'm worried they're going to get their nose tucked next to my car without me realizing it.
It's true. Nate is closing that gap though, so he's going to be challenging for the lead here in a couple laps.
Yeah, and remember Nate, I believe he was on pole, right?
Nate was on pole, yep.
And he was fastest in practice, so Nate is very strong here. He's worked his way back up to the front, and we'll see what he can do. We're down to 40 to go.
Oh!
Got a spinner. Who was that? David Howard.
David Howard, 2-car incident there. Take a look at that replay.
So we see David Howard, who was battling for the win. He started second on that last restart. Now he's in rough shape. Hopefully he has his quick reset still. I don't think he's been in any major accidents yet, so he should still have a quick reset. If not, his car is in really bad shape. You see smoke coming out the back end.
Yeah, he just got loose coming off of 4, and Haney couldn't woe it down enough and just kind of finished him off. But I think he was going around either way there.
Yeah, and that's Haney's in a tough spot whenever someone spins in front of you. Let's have a look here. Almost looked like his front splitter barely touched the apron. Hard to tell though. Yeah, and when he wobbled, he slowed down, and you saw Haney get into him. And the 945 of Mike Mahoney almost gets into Haney. He may have actually tapped him a little bit there, though. That was not Haney's doing. It wasn't like Haney turned him or anything. You just saw David Howard get a little bit loose, slowed down, and there's no way Haney would have been able to slow the car down in time, or he would have gone around too if he'd have hit the brakes.
Yeah, for sure. There's no wrongdoing there. You got to watch that in-car from Mike Mahoney, though. That's whew.
I almost feel like we need to go back and watch our replays, and anybody who did not spin coming out of turn 4 get some bonus points or something. I mean, that turn is so hard, and I can attest to it. I was doing the practice laps with these guys a couple nights ago, and it is really, really hard to get through there. And we cooled down the weather for this race because it was so difficult. Before we lowered the temperatures, I mean, I was drifting through turn 2 almost every other lap. It was really, really bad. And the weather helps, but these guys are still fighting a very, very loose track.
So we had a couple cars stay out. That's interesting. I wonder if they think they can go the rest of the way. We're now within our window here, so Keith Haney and Daniel Haney both at the front of the field. It's going to be an all Haney front row unless these guys come in.
Doesn't look like you're going to.
I said we were pretty close on the window before, so they could be betting on these caution laps, kind of extending our mileage here, which I'd be willing to bet we might not have seen the last one yet either. So might be a good strategy.
Yeah, and this late in the race, people are going to be racing a little bit harder. Again, the drivers I haven't seen anything that I would consider aggressive towards each other. These drivers they're out here to survive this race, and just a lot of them had bad luck coming out of turn 4. But as we're getting down to the nitty gritty, we're going to have just over 30 laps to go when we go green. I think we are going to start seeing a little bit more driver versus driver racing instead of driver versus track.
Yeah, you say it. Always these guys have been battling the track 100%. So as we get closer to the end of the race, I think we're going to start figuring out where we can position, what kind of car we have, and we're going to start thinking we can get around the cars in front of us. So there's going to be some more, some good racing, I think, that'll make for a good final lap, couple laps.
And Keith and Daniel Haney definitely have their work cut out for them. They got some very strong drivers directly behind them. Timothy Lewis and Nate LaFleur, both running strong all night. Nate, of course, qualified on pole, ran the fastest in practice. And just behind them is going to be Buckley and Mahoney, who we've also seen up front all night long. So these guys really got their work cut out for them. Let's have a look at our fastest lap so far tonight. John Fershing has the fastest lap with a 23.098, which is not quite as fast as LaFleur's qualifying lap.
Yeah, one more caution, and he might get his lap back. He'll be fighting for the win here.
Could be.
Guys are getting lined up 2 by 2 here. We should be going green next time by.
This is going to be an interesting restart. Keep your eye on that outside line. I don't think we've seen Daniel Haney do a restart up front before, and not at all in this league. So let's see how he does. And he's got his cousin Keith right next to him on the inside.
Ooh, they spun the tires outside line there.
Yeah, very, very difficult on the outside line. He did spin his tires a little bit. Everyone holds on to it though. And Tim Lewis right there. He wants that lead. Oh, but he hit the wall a little bit.
Yeah, Tim's hungry. He's definitely looking on that inside. He's trying to figure out when he can make his move here.
Oh, Haney goes really wide on that turn. I thought he was going to let Tim up underneath.
Allowed him to get a good runoff there and carry some pretty good straightaway speed.
He's top 4, battling hard. There's less than a second between them. Actually, about a half a second between the top 4.
Yeah, Keith is definitely entering that turn a lot higher and then cut down the apron on exit. And that gives him a good run off. He's got to be careful though. Tim gets a nose in there. It's going to shut that door.
Yeah, and remember, Keith is on slightly older tires. I think probably 10 or so laps more on his tires than Timothy Lewis, who has brand new tires. And Nate LaFleur, he's getting up into the mix now, so all top 5 within about a half a second of each other.
Little bit of an accordion there. The 911 of William Long let up, and that just let Nate kind of scoot by on the inside.
Yep, so Nate takes the 4th position. And we have crossed the 100 lap mark. Floor looking to the inside. He's going to try and take the 4th spot from Joshua Buckley, 3rd spot, I'm sorry, and he does.
Yeah, those are teammates, right? I wouldn't expect those guys to play nice around each other.
Yep, and they did. Yeah, good clean pass. LaFleur on the move now. And And now he's threatening Timothy Lewis for second. I don't think Timothy's going to be able to hold him off for long. Let's go on board with Nate LaFleur. He looks to the inside of Timothy Lewis down the front stretch. And he does make a clean pass.
Yeah, he's been definitely putting some quick laps. Earlier in the race, I said he was a single lap specialist, but man, he's been quick all race.
Yeah, he's definitely more than a single lap specialist tonight. He is cruising. And now he's only got one more car ahead of him before he's in the lead and try to take home another checkered flag.
Yeah, give it 2 more laps here, he'll be on his bumper.
He's right there. Let's go on board with Nate again. Get the camera turned around here. Oh yeah, he is right up in Haney's bumper.
Yeah, I don't think Hayes just going to move over and let him by, though, but, man, Nate's quick.
Okay, I mean, he definitely gets a good run coming off of the turn faster than Haney. Haney's going to stay low, take a defensive line. LaFleur goes way high. I think LaFleur's going to do a little crossover thing here, try and get underneath Haney.
Yeah, I like that by Heath, man. I like taking that inside lane away. Going to make him work around the outside. That might be what he's going to keep with here, but oh, he's got to run this time. Oh.
And Haney wobbles a little bit. That might be all that LaFleur needed. Haney's still protecting that inside line. He is not giving it up easy.
Yeah, Nate gave him a little bit of a bump
Caution
there.
is
Oh,
out.
we got a caution.
That is the 84 at Kevin O'Brien.
Sitting just on the other side of the start-finish line, yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure every driver has... In fact, yeah, I am sure every caution we've had so far is because of a driver spinning coming out of turn 4.
Yep, every single one, you're right.
I tell you what, I thought we were going to see that. I thought we were going to see Haney or LaFleur lose it, because when you get battling that hard, battling for the lead in the heat of the moment, that's usually when you're going to overstep it a little bit. And right before that caution, we did see Haney wobble a little, and that gave LaFleur the run, but then the caution came out and took LaFleur's chances away.
So we got 21 laps left. We're going to be coming back to the green at, what, 19:18 to go. Are you coming in for tires? What's that cutoff point here?
I think I am. I mean, there's enough. There's a good possibility it's going to stay green, and it looks like all these drivers did just that.
Yeah, that's what I figured too. Now we're going to take 4. Some going to take 2.
Now that's the question, because track position is going to be pretty important.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet we see Nate take 2 here. Nate's proven that he's quick when he's up front, so I think he's going to want to try and get back out front, and we'll see if 2 tires allow him to do that.
You see Buckley way in the back there. He takes 2 and he's out. And Buckley takes 4. Haney is who I meant, took 2 and he was out.
Yeah, Nate took 4. Max Terrio looks like he took 2. Keith Haney took 2.
So we got a couple lap cars up front who are going to get their wave around. Or pit. Looks like Keith Haney and Max Terrio, both on 2 tires, are going to be starting in the front row. And what did we say at the beginning of the race? Max Terrio, sort of a sleeper all race long. I mean, we saw him climbing up a little bit, and here we are, 20 laps to go, and he finds himself starting in the front row. That's what patience gets you. Patience and consistency.
Yeah, it's definitely about closing the races down. So, hey, we still got 19, 18 laps to go by the time we get going here. So, let's not count him up there yet. But man, he's always there at the end.
Yep. Now, strongest driver tonight, I'd have to say, is Nate LaFleur. After qualifying pole, and you see the way he's working his way through the field here, he is going to be starting in the second row, and I do not believe he has a win with red light yet.
Let me pull up Nate's stats and we'll see here. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, Nate's got he's got 28 starts with red light. He's got 1 pole prior to tonight. And no, you're right. He has not got any wins with the league. So he's due. He's definitely strong tonight, and I think he's gonna want to get by these 2 cars quick and kind of gap the field here. We'll see how it goes.
And now keep in mind, Nate LaFleur took 4 tires, and the guy starting in the front row only had 2 tires, so he does have a little bit of advantage over them. Let's see if it's enough to pay off and get him up front before it's over. I hope we can stay green to the end because they're definitely putting up some exciting racing. They just all got to be careful on turn 4.
Yeah, I really don't want to see this one end under caution, man. The way that it's been running tonight, man, these guys have been putting on some great shows here. Nate's on the bumper here.
Yeah, he is ready to go. Good start by both front drivers. Almost 3 wide behind him with Buckley and Timothy Lewis and Mike Mahoney.
Yeah, Buckley looked like he was thinking about it, but it's definitely not the track you want to push for 3 wide.
Yeah, no way you want to go 3 wide here. LaFleur and Max Terrio battling hard for second, and that's letting Keith Haney just run away with it. I think LaFleur needs to get in, well, maybe not. I thought he was going to get in line behind Max and let them both try to catch up to Haney, but they're still battling. Just behind him, hard battle. Oh! Christensen into the wall. He holds on to it. No caution yet.
Does a good job keeping it rolling. No caution.
Nate LaFleur falls in line behind Max Terrio, and they let Haney get away from them. He is about a half a second ahead, a little bit more than that.
Yeah, you put...
Oh, LaFleur gets loose coming off of 4.
Saved it, though. Good job.
Yeah, that was an excellent save. He didn't lose any. Look at that. He's right there on Terrio's bumper again.
Yeah, these guys aren't going to want to stay in line here second and third, but if they're going to want to catch Keith, they're going to have to do that. So I think, the minute that Nate tries to step inside and make this pass, which he's going to do right here, it's just going to allow Keith to get more of a lead.
Yep, Nate LaFleur on the inside. Let's see if Terrio's going to fight for it or fall in line behind him.
Definitely fighting for it here.
I mean, excellent battle. It just sucks for them that there's another drive. Oh! LaFleur loses it coming out of 4. He saves it again, but there went his shot at it, I think. Oh, yeah. Man. Excellent save, Nate.
Oh, that's tough to see, man.
Yeah, you hate to see that. There's such a good battle for second. Possibly could have ended up being a battle for the lead. And now Mike Mahoney's the next one who's going to challenge Max Terrio. And look at this, right behind him, Joshua Buckley and David Howard. Both really strong drivers. And Timothy Lewis right behind them. You can see a lot of these drivers got a lot of right side damage on those cars. Haney with a nice, comfortable 1 second lead ahead of second place Max Terrio.
Yeah, Terrio, he was about 2/10 quicker that time by. We got 10 laps left. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, you are going to have a hard time. You're almost to the point where the only way you're going to catch up is if Haney slips up a little bit, which can easily be done because everybody slipped up at some point here.
I think it'd be easier to count the drivers that haven't gone around versus the ones that have.
Yeah, no kidding. And that's not to knock the drivers. I mean, they've done an amazing job here tonight. Oh, Buckley in the wall. Howard goes around him.
No, yeah, for sure. All these drivers have done a great job tonight. Great job.
Yep. It's such a hard track. I wish I could convey to the viewers how difficult it is to drive around here. Again, it looks like, they're just driving in circles and, it's a video game. No, this is hard. These guys are, I guarantee you every one of these guys is sweating right now. And when they're done, they're gonna step out from their rigs and they're gonna be worn out, just like they were driving maybe not as much as a real car, but you're gonna be worn out. I know when you get in ones like this where you're battling hard the whole race, man, when it's over, I mean, you're so mentally drained. So Terrio is closing the gap a little bit. He's got about a 4.4 second.
Yeah, he was at about 0.8 with 10 to go. So he's gonna have a couple laps to make a move here if he keeps on this pace.
And now both of these guys are on 2 tires. They did a 2-tire pit stop last time, so they're pretty evened up as far as that goes. But Terrio is closing the gap. Look at him.
Yeah, he's getting some great runs. I think he realizes that he's got to make it happen because you don't want to get on him with 3 laps to go and then have a caution come out and it be over. Yep. So you got to kind of make it happen here.
Yeah, very true. Obviously, you can see Max Terrio is faster than Haney right now, and he's just got to find the time to make it. Oh, Haney gets a little loose coming out of turn 2. That might give Max what he needs.
Yeah, he's definitely there now. Now it's just about getting around him here. But Haney, I think he's going to take that defensive low line here, try and keep Max to the outside.
Got a 3-way battle for 3rd place as well, with Buckley, David Howard, and Mike Mahoney. Exciting finish. We're down to 3 laps to go. Let's see if Terrio can make something happen. He has a really fast car right now, and he wants to get out there.
Hey man, I like Mike Mahoney in this spot, man. These guys take each other out 1-2. You drive by for the win here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, he's looking to the outside. It's going outside.
Terrio looks to the outside. Let's see if he does a crossover. Oh! Haney gets in the wall. That's what Terrio needed to get around him. Oh, no.
Yeah, you're just worried about keeping your speed, and just pushed it into the wall just a little bit. And, it's not over yet. He's still there. He could fight the win here.
White flag is out. Max Terrio passed with just 2 laps to go. And he is coming around last couple of turns. Oh, Kevin O'Brien's on the apron. Couple cars. Got a car in the wall. Christensen's in the wall. Haney gets in the wall again, but he brings it home second. Max Terrio gets a win here at Red Light at Dover. Absolutely amazing finish. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it was, man. Yeah, it was. Great race.
Congratulations, Max Terrio brings home his first win of the season. And I kept telling him, every time I talked to him, I said, Max, I know I'm going to see you here in Victory Lane here anytime. Talking to him every week, and here he is.
Yeah, it's his third win with the league, first of the season. It's good to see him finish up front.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we got to say it again, though, man. Every one of these drivers did such a great job tonight. Like it's a tough track running the way that these guys were running all night, and good job on everyone for a good showing. And we'll see them next week.
Yeah, that was a really, really good show. Like I said, it looks like these guys were out of control, but I mean, there's only so much you can do when the track is that loose. It's just going to happen. But great job, Max Terrio. Started 8th place, led 2 laps, and one of those laps was the most important one, this final lap. So let's run down through your results here. Max Terrio takes home the win. Keith Haney 2nd. Mike Mahoney is 3rd. David Howard 4th. Joshua Buckley, Timothy Lewis, John Pershing, Nate LaFleur, Philip Bundick, Ivan Jones, Daniel Haney, William Long, James Haney, Jamie Christensen, Kevin O'Brien, Mike Abbott, and Joshua Butler retired early after 48 laps, and Jason Garrett retired on the 4th lap. So congratulations, Max Terrio. We'll get an interview here with him and see how he feels about his win. Max Terrio, I kept telling you I'm going to see you in Victory Lane, and we saw it tonight. Excellent job, buddy. Tell us about your race.
Wow, that was a wild finish there. Those 2 tires, that was the call for me. Really made the car loose. It surprised me on the restarts. I needed a couple of laps to really get to drive like a new car out there, and that finish was just great.
Yeah, that was a wild finish. I had so much fun watching that. What were you thinking as the laps were ticking down? Were you worried another caution was going to come out right there at the end? Because we could see you had a faster car than the leader.
At that point, I didn't want any more cautions, and once I got a good gap between 2nd and 3rd, I was just about maintaining a consistent speed around the corners, and little by little gain on the leader, and hopefully have enough laps to make a pass, and everything happened like it should have.
Yeah, I think watching you run in 2nd place, it looked like Keith was going to try and make you use the outside line, and the outside line really didn't look like it was working for anyone making passes, but it looks like you pressured him enough just to have him kind of screw up that exit and got into the wall a bit and made that pass pretty easy for you.
Oh yeah, it was really difficult to pass, even in traffic. Once I was behind in 8th or 10th place, I couldn't go anywhere. It was really, for me, the car was tight all race long, except for that last pit stop where I took 2 tires. It really made it loose, where I could get some good speed that's out of the corner.
What did you think about the exit to 4? We had, I would say, half the field spun out coming out of 4. What was your take on the exit there?
Yeah, I even spun out once, thinking I didn't hit anything or anyone, but it was really tough to get out of 4, out of a really low line. You really had to arc it to not turn the wheel too much coming out of 4, and that's not the first time it bit me, and probably won't be the last time, but it was a good thing it was early in the race, because I had enough time to get back through the field.
Well, excellent job, Max. I'm glad to see you in Victory Lane. I say it every week, you're such a strong driver here, and I knew your week was coming. It's such a difficult track. We kept saying that all night long, how difficult this track is. And you did a great job of battling the track, battling the other drivers, and you only led 2 laps, but you led the most important one. So congratulations, Max.
Yeah, thanks. And good racing with Nate also in the end. If he could have passed me, I think he would have won the race. He had the car to win all night long. And I hope everyone watching the live feed had a Had a fun time watching the finish, especially, but the whole race, pretty sure it was exciting.
Well, I certainly had fun watching it. So, yeah, great racing, and we will see you next week, Max, and that will be at Texas.
All right, see you next week, guys.
Take care, Max.
All right, let's get an interview with Keith Haney, who came in second.
Max.
Keith Haney, this is Jeremy Patterson in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
You almost had it there at the end, but Max had your number, and then it looks like turn 2 kind of took you out of the race for the lead anyway.
Yeah, I seen Max gaining about 2/10, sometimes a little more on me about every lap for the last 5 laps. And to be honest, it was real hard to keep my eyes out the front window whenever he was doing that. I was kind of looking out my rear view and wanting to drive the defensive line so much that it carried me into the wall and just allowed him to come around.
Yeah, we saw you running that inside line and trying to force the guys go uncomfortable and get uncomfortable and go around the outside. And we commented that definitely was the right thing to do. But yeah, you said it. You just ran it up into the wall a little bit.
Yeah, Nate had a good run on me there, I think, before the last caution, and I knew Nate had me for sure, so I was like, man, I'm going to have to drop the middle of the track, kind of where they can't take me low nor high, and if Nate wanted to, he could have put the bumper to me, and I really wouldn't have blamed him for doing it. You know, when you got the faster car, it's really frustrating following behind a slower car, but I was going to do the same thing to Max, but man, Max is intimidating.
Yeah, that was amazing. Those last few laps, actually the entire race. Watching you guys, every driver did a fantastic job. We had a lot of drivers spin coming out of turn 4. It just looked like it was really, really difficult to get around there. But as far as racing with each other, I saw lots of respect. Yeah,
there definitely was, and I'm so glad that we ended up having that practice Saturday and ended up coming to a weather change, because I don't think the race would even have been that good if we wouldn't have.
No, I think there would have been a lot more caution laps if we hadn't done that. So and that's thanks to you and the other guys for putting up those sessions. Let us get in there, get a feel for the car, and then make adjustments as needed. So thanks a lot for that. Hey, you came home second. Excellent finish. Almost had the win there. I expect to see you're going to be in victory lane before the season's over. But great job, Keith, and we'll see you next week in Texas.
All right, Jeremy, thanks. Enjoyed running with you last night. I'll see you guys next Monday.
Yes, sir. All right, and let's get a talk with our third place finisher, Mike Mahoney. Mike, this is Jeremy Patterson in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Congratulations, bringing home a podium finish. Your first one here at Red Light, I believe. Tell us about your race.
Well, I was actually quite surprised how well it went. The car was a little bit tight, but a lot better than being a little too loose.
Yeah, definitely good to see you top 3 finish. Only your 3rd race here at Red Light, and I know you're new over at NASCAR, but man, you're consistent and you can get around with them. So congratulations on that. Can you tell us about what you thought about the exit on turn 4? A lot of cars kind of lost it on turn 4, so I just want to get everyone's take on it. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I think actually the best place to be was about the middle. If you were low or too high, it just wasn't good.
Well, we saw you up near the front most of the race. I mean, you started up close to the front, and you did a good job holding your own up there. How was it battling with those other drivers?
It was pretty tough. The old heart was beating there, let me tell you. I had a little bit of damage too. I bounced off the wall in the first couple of laps there. It screwed the car up a little bit. So.
Well, good job coming home with a podium finish. Anybody you want to say hi to?
The sponsors I got there, guys at ECCI for the wheel that I use, and
that's how you did so well. That's a good wheel, man.
Yeah, in fact, they just gave me a little tune-up for it a couple weeks, or last week, so freshen it up a little bit. So.
Excellent. Good deal. Well, we appreciate having you race with us, and we look forward to having you race next week at Texas. Hopefully you can make it.
Yes, sir. I'll be there.
All right. We'll see you then, Mike. Thanks again, and congratulations.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so viewers, I hope you enjoyed that. The end of the race I thought was pretty exciting. Just amazing battling between these guys and extremely respectful driving. Like I said, you know, we had a handful of cautions, but every one of them was just someone getting loose and spinning. There was nobody wrecking each other, no bump and runs or any of that junk. Everyone would race nice and clean. We definitely like to see that. So next week we go to Texas. And Mike, actually, why don't you, before we talk about that, tell us what we're doing this Wednesday in NASCAR.
Oh yeah, we're back at. We're actually we're turning turning right here on Wednesday. We're going to the Glen, so a lot of the guys are excited to get on there. We had a couple practice. Actually, I think we were practicing every night over the weekend. We have another practice session coming up tomorrow. But we're looking to do things a little bit differently. It'll be our first road course in the Pro Series, and it's definitely going to be interesting. I know a bunch of guys are excited about it.
Yeah, I know I'm excited about it. You know, as you know, I race over there, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I really like the road courses. They're lots of fun for me. Watkins Glen, I mean, I could drive that one in my sleep probably. I've driven it so much because I really, really enjoy it. So definitely going to be fun over there. Anybody who's watching who's interested, go to the NAVSCAR website. That's you can see the link there on your screen, navscar.com. And if you'd like to race with us, you can put in an application there. And there's also the Pro Series on Wednesday night. There's also the Touring Series on Sunday nights. And for Red Light, you can go to redlightleague.com, where we'll be posting the standings and results from this race and here in a little bit. Watch the live broadcast from our page. Go to our YouTube and Facebook pages. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook if you use those services. That helps us get the word out a little bit more. So even if you don't really use YouTube subscriptions, if you subscribe, that helps us out, and we would appreciate that. And as we said, next week, Texas Motor Speedway, and we'll be here live broadcasting, Mike and I. And that's really, really fast track. I'm excited to see that one.
Yeah, definitely a little bit larger than the track we're racing now. Completely different, front stretch, and should be a good race there too.
Right, and that's your, they call them cookie cutters. It's your oval with the kind of D shape in the front, a couple dog legs. So lots of speed, lots of fun, high banking, good action, and we will see you then next week at Texas. Broadcast goes live at 8:30 Eastern on Monday night. Good night, everybody.